the distinction Sudhanshu Trivedi and others are drawing, they are claiming that in the cases that they have filed, it was the BJP itself which took up Colgate, it was BJP which drove 2G scam, and the fact is that at least for that period of time, there was no question of those cases being thrown out by the court of law. Those cases were not thrown out by a court of law. In fact, irregularities were found, particularly in the way coal allotments were made. People were arrested. So therefore, let the law take its own course. If you have nothing, if Hemant Soren, for example, has nothing to be scared of, he shouldn't be absconding, not attending, not attending ED's interrogation.
Yes, so law will take its own course in this case also, but I think the spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party is saying that he mentioned the names of Sonia Ji and Rahul Ji. Of course, they went before the agency. They were questioned for several hours and a couple of days or several days, and they cooperated, and all documentation is there and everything is there. Nobody has gone away from the law, and everyone is before the law. But why is he all the time bringing up cases where the procedures have ended? In the 2G, there has been acquittal. There is nothing on record to show that there was this kind of a scam. So I think he is living in a past, but he doesn't speak a single word of which washing machine he has. And when there are glaring examples of all the names you took, and there is enough evidence even in public domain, I think why is he not speaking about that? And what is that washing machine that suddenly you become the law, you become the judge, you become the justice system, and everything else is subverted? You do not put them before the process of law. Suddenly they are in your party and you protect them as if nothing has happened. So he has to answer to that question rather than bringing up cases and instances of 1990, 1980, 1970. So I think he should speak about the present washing machine and also the poaching system that you take away people from other parties. You have not been able to create leaders of your own. In fact, the BJP is also taken away by the Honorable Prime Minister, because you know Bajpayee ji and Advani ji created the party. That party is practically taken away by them. So he has to answer to these very crucial points which I am making, rather than going back and forth.
You're making a washing machine argument. He's making that there are skeletons in your cupboard which have tumbled out over the years. But Jayaprakash Narayan, I watch your face. You're amused as you're listening to both sides. As I said, ये public है, ये सब जानती है, और I hope that they know. No, you see, 1 minute. Jayaprakash Narayan ji, there will be those out there who will say, we want anyone in public life who's getting away with corruption to be held accountable. So if the Enforcement Directorate is hyperactive at the moment, so be it. Yes, it needs to be the same for all states, but the public out there doesn't seem to have a problem at the moment if the Enforcement Directorate arrests Hemant Soren today or arrests some other opposition leader tomorrow, so long as there is a prima facie case.
Rajdeep, people have become pretty inured. They don't believe that in the political parties there is freedom from corruption. Yes, individuals are honest. Even today in every political party, there are men and women of genuine integrity. But as a system, I think we all agree that there is phenomenal corruption. First, there is a rule of law issue. Normatively, we have a rule of law. All our discussion is based on the normative rule of law. But the reality is, police and prosecution are entirely controlled by the government of the day. Mostly state governments, because in 98% the rule of law is in states. Only 2% is at the national level. Because in India, under the constitution, the whole crime investigation is entirely the state subject. Police and prosecution are totally politically driven. They're appointed by the politicians, removed by the politicians, controlled by the politicians. The forensics are extremely weak in India. Even in Delhi city, in a very well-known criminal case, it took 365 days, 1 full year to get a DNA analysis done. Our procedures are extremely dilatory. Our courts are both lacking in capacity and competence. Unless there is a commitment to actually bring about rule of law in all these 5 segments systematically, this abusing each other, blaming each other, it's nice political theater, but doesn't change the country. The second short point, corruption is driven by illegitimate money in politics. Even in the Northeast, I'm told that 30, 40 crores for a parliamentary election and appropriate amount to correspondingly by ratio assembly is not uncommon. And I live in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. 30-40 crores per assembly constituency per candidate, major candidate, is pretty common. Now, unless we address that through political reform, blaming each other doesn't really help. Vajpayee's Prime Minister used to say every other time, look, we all start our political careers by uttering a lie, signing an affidavit that we spent the money within the ceiling limit, but we have to change it. We are not even discussing it honestly. All right, ruling party doesn't talk about it. What about the opposition? Why are you not raising issues?
No, you make very good points about electoral reforms, police reforms. I've just got Mallikarjun Kharge's tweet, Sudhanshu ji, and I want you to hear it. जो मोदी जी के साथ नहीं गया वो जेल जाएगा. झारखंड के मुख्यमंत्री श्री हेमंत सोरेन पर ईडी लगाकर उनका त्यागपत्र देने को मजबूर करना फेडरलिज्म की धज्जियां उड़ाना है. पीएमएलए के प्रावधानों को ड्रकोनियन बनाकर विपक्ष के नेताओं को डराना धमकाना भाजपा की टूल किट का हिस्सा है. एक तरह से पूरा विपक्ष कह रहा है कि दे आर बीइंग घेराउड. Every day, some opposition leaders getting summons. This is part of the BJP, according to the Congress president, opposition Mukt Bharat. Fear, bring in fear, intimidation.
In response to that, I would like to say to Kharge ji, Saab, from our younger age, we have come into the middle age. Keep watching Lalu Prasad Yadav ji, jail going and coming out, going and coming out. Now you are saying, putting the blame on Modi ji. और मैंने तो बता दिया ना 1994 में शिबू सोरेन जी जेल चले गए थे इसके ऊपर. तो खड़गे जी पहले सोच तो लें कि वो बोल क्या रहे हैं. And forget about the others. If there was one instance in which our ex-prime minister has to appear in court of law after leaving the post, it was P.V. Narasimha Rao in 96-97 when we were not in the power. If for the first time an allegation was there on the prime minister, it was Rajiv Gandhi in 86 जब बीजेपी 2 सीटों की पार्टी थी. तो जनाब खड़गे जी आप कह क्या रहे हैं पहले ये तो देख लीजिए. एलिगेशन भी आपके जमाने की, कार्रवाइयां आपके जमाने की, जेल जाना आपके जमाने का, मगर इल्जाम हमारे जमाने का.
नहीं, क्योंकि इल्जाम आपके जमाने पर हो रहा है, क्योंकि जो फैक्ट्स जो हो रहे हैं कि जितने भी ऑपोजिशन, ऐसा लगता है करप्शन केवल ऑपोजिशन में है कि बीजेपी दूध से धुली हुई है. ये कहीं ना कहीं दैट परसेप्शन इज आल्सो देयर. व्हाइल द परसेप्शन इज देयर कि कांग्रेस के कबर्ड में बहुत स्केलेटन्स है, दैट परसेप्शन इज देयर. बट परसेप्शन ये भी है कि यू आर यूजिंग द ईडी, यू आर यूजिंग पीएमएलए टू इंटिमिडेट द ऑपोजिशन, व्हिच इज आल्सो नॉट गुड फॉर डेमोक्रेसी.
वन मोर थिंग आई वुड लाइक टू पुट फोर्थ. देखिए इसमें टेक्निकल चीज अलग है, मैं मॉरल का जवाब देता हूं. अगर इंटिमिडेट करने से ही कुछ होता, राजदीप जी, द एंटायर अपोजिशन वॉज इन जेल इन इमरजेंसी अंडर द ड्रैकोनियन लॉज लाइक मीसा इन विच यू कैन नॉट इवन गो फॉर प्ली. जॉर्ज फर्नांडिस जी के हाथ में हथकड़ी लगा के सड़क पे चलाया गया था. एंड यू नो बाई हाउ ह्यूज मार्जिन ही वन फ्रॉम जेल, 3,54,000 or शायद 3,74,000,
yes,
which was a record in India till that time. And none of the Gandhi family has won till 1980 3,74,000 from the jail.
Sir, but why bring emergency? We are in 2024.
The judgment
Sudhanshu
of the democratic values.
Sir, we are in 2024. Forget about what Congress did. वो तो इंदिरा गांधी को वोटर ने पनिश भी किया 77 में.
नहीं, मैं जो कहना चाह रहा हूं वो ये कह रहा हूं कि जो लोग कहना चाह रहे हैं, नाइदर दे आर एबल टू अप्रोच द कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ एंड प्रूव देम इनोसेंट, नाइदर दे आर एबल टू सस्टेन इन द कोर्ट ऑफ पब्लिक. जस्ट दे आर कीप ऑन पुटिंग एलिगेशन एंड डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट दैट देयर कैरेक्टर इज वेरी dubious since last 2 or 3 generations, at least when we were in the school and college. From there, the so many allegations are there. तो इसलिए मैं कहना चाहता हूं, कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ, कोर्ट ऑफ पब्लिक एंड द इंटायर बैकग्राउंड. So their present allegation seems totally flimsy and baseless.